Hello, we're back, and we are in our second week of instruction on social awareness. Do you remember what social awareness is? Two words, social, so more than one person, usually a small or large group of people. Awareness, it's the second thing, our ability to assess and experience things around us and being aware of that. Last week, we talked about how we can have social awareness by feeling connected to people. We did that by reading The Invisible String, the book, and then we thought about someone we're connected to with an invisible string and why that person is important to us. Today, we're going to focus more on behaviors that help us and our social awareness, and also help those around us notice that we are aware and empathetic. I'll get to that in a minute, that big word, to others' needs. So today is more of like a behavioral lesson, and I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to gain social awareness and experience improved outcomes in your social skills. Tip number 1. When you're talking to a person, whether that's an adult or a friend that's around your age, look and consider their nonverbal cues. A nonverbal cue is something that they're not saying. So it's anything that's not language, like their words. So, for example, look at their body. Is their body relaxed? If they're relaxed, more than likely they're feeling how you would feel when you're relaxed. How do we feel when we're relaxed? We're usually satisfied or happy. Is their body tense? Is their face kind of angry? Look at this picture of me here. Look at my nonverbal cues. Do I look like I'm ready to talk, or do I look like that I might need a break to kind of get myself back to a state of being calm? To me, it looks like I need a break. I need some time by myself so I can just approach whatever is going on with a little bit more like calmness and clarity. So nonverbal cues are someone's body language, okay? Consider if they have their arms crossed across their torso, or if someone has a frowny face or an angry face, okay? That means that person is struggling with something. At that point, we could ask them if we can help, or they may just need some time by themselves. So consider nonverbal cues. Tip number 2 for social awareness is what I like to call whole body listening. Now, when we were in the classroom, it was easy to teach whole body listening. We listen with our eyes by having our eyes on the speaker. We listen with our mouth by having a quiet mouth, and we listen with our ears. While we're away from our classrooms, learning in this capacity, much different than we're used to, and that's okay, we're being flexible, I invite you to practice whole body listening. When you're talking with your family members or the people that you're living with at home, consider using whole body listening skills. When our eyes are on the speaker, Our ears are listening fully to what they're saying, and our mouths are patiently waiting for our turn. We begin to really hear what people are saying. I have noticed as time has gone on in our school closure, some of my friends that I work with have told me that it's gotten a little hard to be in our houses all the time. One way we can handle that is by being a more intentional listener. Rather than trying to do too much, look at our book while our friend, our brother or sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle is talking to us. It gets our brain all jumbled. We're not fully attentive to the speaker. So like as if you're in your classroom and your teacher is speaking to you, try to practice that whole body listening with those in your home. I'm confident that when we use whole body listening, we begin to gain social awareness. We begin to see those nonverbal cues that I talked about a moment ago. And we begin to be more present in the conversations we have with our family members. For 4th and 5th graders, the third part of social awareness, my tip for you is to practice empathy. Empathy for you intermediate students, those higher level students in our elementary schools, is to recognize how other people feel, to understand how they feel. That might be a different feeling than you have. When you saw the picture of me, the way I looked, some things might have come to mind. You might have thought, wow, Mrs. Bannister, she's really in a bad mood. And you might have also thought, I don't really want to talk to her right now. That's a good idea, right? Maybe you want to kind of give me some space. By practicing empathy, we can also lean into that with our family and the people that we live with. We might offer to help. If our brother or our sister, for example, or anybody that we live with is having a hard time, if we're practicing social awareness, we recognize they're having a hard time, and then we see if we can help them. We might ask, is there anything I can do? Can I help you with that work? Do you need a break? You can be the person that helps steer them into a more regulated, calm state, or at least into a satisfied state. Remember, there's a difference between being happy and satisfied. Satisfied is getting what you need, and happy is more like getting what you want. And right now, we're not all getting what we want. We're more getting what we need. Okay? So, the 3 tips. Tune into nonverbal cues. Look at people's body language, which ties into the second tip, which is be a whole body listener. And the third tip is practice empathy. Practice trying to understand how other people are feeling. Those 3 tips tie into our last lesson on social awareness. Because when we use those 3 behaviors in our day-to-day interactions with people, we begin to see our social world around us in a better form. We begin to see how others are feeling and how others respond to how we interact. So I encourage you to do that this week. There is no handout or homework this week. Your assignment is to practice those 3 things. And I ask that you do them. You can report back to me how it's working for you. Feel free to send me an email or in the chat app on the iPad. Let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear. just know that when we practice social awareness with intention, we grow in our emotional development. We grow in our communication skills, our ability to problem solve, and our ability to be a friend and family member. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.